Nightblade. Nightblade for me, like I said, I played it for 5 years. Okay? I played it for 5 years. Loved it. Hurt my hands. All the light attack weaving, all the stuff. Does a lot of good damage and everything and stuff. And I've tried a few times. You know, Iffy has written up some good stuff, and he's got some amazing builds and stuff, but I'm getting old. And I'm like, you know, what can I do? And I'm looking at the new set that we've got. And the new set that comes out at IA with it is called Soulcleaver. All right? And I actually happen to have all of it. So what Soulcleaver does is that while in combat, strengthen your siphoning abilities at the cost of ultimate. All right? So what happens is that it increases the damage of your healing of siphoning abilities by 18%, reduce the cost of siphoning abilities by 18%, and casting of siphoning abilities drains the ultimate. So damage and healing. All right? So you've got your damage and healing stuff. So everything's going to get bolstered at a little bit of cost to your ultimate. So nothing too much. And I'm like, man, can I do something with this? You know, what's kind of going on? And I went back and forth, and I tried a few skills. The big thing with trying to make a 1-bar build with Nightblade just needs all the skills, to make anything happen. And so I'm like, well, what's the strongest ones? What's the, the biggest thing? And, it also kind of comes down to that you really, you've got to do a lot of Swallow Soul as your spammable. And, it's very, light attack weaving base for most builds and stuff. And it's kind of tricky. Like I said, it's just a lot of work. And you know me, I like to kind of, be lazy. I love you. That said, took something, turned to Nightblade. I'm going to add with 6 other players of the Nightblade to kill it. Yeah, just crazy. So go. So you know the Nightblade. Good. Like I said, I played it for 5 years. I know all the ins and outs and everything and stuff. And I've kind of gone back, back and forth and stuff. Well, I was like, you know what? If you were to go with the Soulcleaver, what other skills in siphoning are there? So if you don't want to do Swallow Soul, what else you got? You got Healthy Offering. Healthy Offering is one of the best heals in the game. It's monstrous. It's a huge heal. Boom. Look at that. 20k heal. Last night when I was going through stuff, I did like a... Actually, I don't even have my whole set on. I did a 38k heal. I mentioned that to Iffy, and Iffy's like, yeah, that's Healthy Offering. I'm like, oh my gosh. So use the other IA Nightblade set. And so what is the second one on there? So let's put that back in. So we got the full thing even. And look at this, you get the glow. You get the soul glow. Soulcleaver. Wow. So I'm like, I'm kind of going in and out, and I'm like, power extract. I don't usually use that. And then I'm like, what could I use? What are some of the stuff? Well, then I started to remember one of my big things. It's Umbral something. Okay. One of the things that I used to use as part of to try to get the DPS up was to fit into the rotation Debilitate. All right, when you sap an enemy's ability and rack them with pain, dealing damage over time stuff. And the ability has a chance to overcharge status effect. Overcharge status effect is where you've got a chance to do the damage right up front. So instead of over time. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, could this be something? And I'm like, well, this hits really, it's a huge dot, especially with having this set on. Look how high it is. And then if I had Unstable Wall of Fire, which is very, very good, You know, it's a good kind of thing. I'm thinking in the mode of like what Frostagon is. And then I'm like, well, we do also get more spell damage just from having like, you know, the Relentless Focus or, you know, the bow proc thing. And I'm like, huh. And I'm like, well, then also if I'm against the boss, I could do incapacitating strikes, you know, to even up that damage a little bit more. And then I'm like, well, what else could I put on the bar? I'm like, well, I could put Siphoning Attacks, because when you slot it, you wouldn't even have to touch it. All your damage gives you health back and restore Magicka. So I'm like, okay, I can put this on, not touch it. I can put this on, not touch it. I have a really big heal. I'm going to be healing anyway. I can lay down an unstable wall of fire if I need it, you know, with a big group. And then I could just take Debilitate, just dot everything up and watch them die. And then if I'm single target on a boss, I could have Incapacitating Strike. Plus, I've got my Lightning, my Inferno Staff that does more to the status effects and does its own dot. And I'm like, this might work. So I took it into IA last night and it worked. And you're not going to believe it. I got like the heavy attack, you know, ferocious support, which does more. And I got the thing to that single target dots do more damage. I think I had this in the end up to almost 40k. So it did 40k magic damage over like 22 seconds, I think, up to seconds a little bit. It was pretty amazing. It was really good. I was like, what? I did I dribble grow from a stamp blade, right? Oh my gosh. So let me just kind of go over it. So what I'm doing here is that I've got Slimecraw in Divines. I put it to medium. All right. I went with Soulcleaver, and you can do it, you know, anytime you have any one of these sets out of here, why there's like triplicate of everything is because you can do a light version, medium, or a heavy version. So what I did is that I filled in the gaps so that I had a heavy chest, and I added health onto it, just to give me a little bit more stout. I went light with the shoulders, but then all the other pieces are medium. And my other set is Pillar of Nirn, which is a big bleed damage. So I went Pillar of Nirn, everything in Divines, all right? And everything in medium except one light shoulder and one heavy chest there. The stuff is all in Bloodthirsty, and it's the, you know, you can do whatever, you know, doesn't matter if pillar or whatever, because everything else is in medium. The staff, I went with the spell damage and the precise like normal. I showed you all the skills: Siphoning Attacks, Debilitate, the Unstable Wall of Fire, Healthy Offering, Relentless Focus, and Incapacitating Strikes. Food is, we're doing, actually the Bewitched Sugar Skulls. I was doing like the Witch Mother's Poem Brew, but I didn't really need it. The getting back resources, we've got a ton of resources, getting back with this because we're not light attack weaving and going through that. The pots are try restoration. Let's see. Mundus is a thief. All points in the Magicka. We, of course, are wearing the Oakensoul ring. For our CP, I'm going Wrathful Strikes, Fighting Finesse, Deadly Aim because of the single target to help out with that dot. And then the Thaumaturge to, again, help out with that dot for that damage over time. All right? So really, in essence, it's like a one-button build, you know? So you just kind of go and like do that. And then the standard Boundless, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and Siphoning skills in there. And you get this kind of cool glow on you. So, do you want to kind of see it in action? I can show you what, in action, what, how you kind of play with it. Let's go to the archive. You like it? Yeah, and Noah, You dot stuff and then you relax. You know me, I love that with the Frostagon build. I lay down my AoEs and then I relax. You know? And, yeah, gosh, I was going back and forth last night of what to do, and I was looking at stamina stuff. I actually at one time had on here the Steel Tornado, the Spin to Win. I'm like, can I do something like that with this? And I'm like, no. And so yeah, so here we go. So the mechanic is, because you're doing so much single target dot damage, I go in, all right, I'm not using this. I'm not using this. I'm just dotting stuff up and then throwing down an AoE just to give me a little bit of extra. And then if there's a boss type thing or something that I need, I'll do the incapacitating strike to do even more damage with the dots. Because the incapacitating strike does a disease damage, causing them to take 20% more damage from your attacks. So all this dot stuff goes up huge. You keep going back to stamina. Well, I totally understand it. You know, I've always thought that maybe that was my trouble. So watch this. So I go dot, dot, dot. All right. And that guy's a druid, so they're not going to take any damage. So let's get rid of him. Dot, dot. Oh, and now this was the epiphany. Okay, this is when I forgot to talk about the epiphany part. The epiphany was that you can dot up multiple people. You can dot up multiple people. So I can go dot, 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 lay down an AoE. Yeah. Look how fast they're going down. This was me with no buffs. Dot, 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 and then I'll lay down an AoE. I'm just going to block. Oh, and look at all the health I'm getting back. All of those guys are giving me health back. That's the other big thing. Look at all the health. All those dots on all those guys are giving me... It's like you're using, what's that mage one? The entropy with the heal. You know how you've got, like, the entropy with the heal? You're now doing that, but with a ton of damage. Yeah. You're now doing that with a ton of damage. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, so like watch my health this time around. So that, boom, boom. Look at this, they're hitting me, but look at all my health. Look at all that health just ticking away. Boom. Yeah, Magblade. Boom. Boom. Where's the last guy? Boom. Lay down the thing. Yeah, look at that. Standing in the thing, but I'm getting so much health. And if I need health, I can hit my healthy offering. Look at that, 37. Did you see it? 37. Dot, 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 dot. Boom. Interrupt. Block. Yeah, I'll even let this get me. And the dot lasts for something ridiculous, too. I forget how long the dot is. Look at this. I'm going to even get out of combat here. The dot is 20 seconds. Hey, Virgil, how you doing? I mean, it's not going to win any awards for the highest DPS racing or anything like that, but it works. You know? And if you get like I forgot. One of the things I wasn't using my heavy attack that does another dot. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the incapacitating strike with it. So let me throw that out there. Let me run up, incapacitating strike, boom, boom, and then the heavy. I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing anything. Here, I'll reset it. Reset the heavy. They're shooting stuff at me. Here, I'll put the eye over there so they don't do anything. Now I'm over 120. I'll hit incapacitating again. Boom, boom, and the heavy. I'm standing in the fire. Look at that. That's going to kill him. Now, of course, this is on another boss where you got to do some mechs, you got to do some stuff, and everything. There's just something to it. It's mad. It's crazy. Like, it shouldn't exist. Yeah. And then, like I said, you get a couple of good ones that accentuate damage over time, single target damage. Crystalline supports, stuff like that. You're good because remember, we are also on a destruction staff, the fire one, which gives us, where is it? Inferno staffs increases your and status effects.